Thanks, Mike. Well, young, full of life, ready for the world.
Earlier this week, a young woman lost her life following a brief hospital stint. Sarah Root was in a truck when someone crashed into her, leading to her death. It has been a tough week for those closest to her.
And tonight, they allowed WWT 6 News' Matthew Smith to join them at a prayer vigil in Council Bluffs.
We are here tonight to remember and celebrate a life of a beautiful daughter, Sarah.
Each light, each face, each represents a story, memories of Sarah Root.
Yeah, I can't just pick one over the other, but that's one I really do remember.
Johnson can't help but smile when she talks about the time she and Sarah bumped into a car in a parking lot. As Johnson tells it, when you have a personality like Sarah's, everything, even the bad times, seemed okay. But Sunday night wasn't about the laughs.
We're doing the best we can for her. She meant a lot, and I mean, this is the best we can do for her.
The hurt you see in family and friends' faces is only part of this story. There's also frustration. Police arrested Eswin Mejia after the crash. He was racing someone when he hit Root's car. Police reports indicate his blood alcohol level was 3 times the legal limit. And when I called the Douglas County Jail, I was told that he's no longer here. It appears that somehow he was able to get out. His bond was set at $50,000 earlier this week, despite the fact he's facing a felony vehicular homicide charge. Now, I talked to his lawyer earlier this week. When asked about specifics, he deflected.
There is still some evidence that needs to come forth. So at this point, I don't want to dodge your question, but it's a little bit too early to know the specifics. The BAC at this point was over the legal limit, but again, I don't want to get too much into what hasn't occurred yet as far as evidence.
Love you.
Okay. Back at Bayless Park, Sarah's dad and brother hugged. There's a sense of pain in the air, but also frustration.
We would like to call attention, however, to the fact that we laid her to rest yesterday and find it very upsetting that the cost of a bond proved less than the cost of her funeral.
Sarah's mom was also in attendance, but didn't want to speak on camera. But she tells me it's been a hard week. She noted a lot of support has helped her family through this tough time. One thing that certainly helped Sunday night, this massive crowd that didn't care how cold or windy it was, or even the fact that it was Super Bowl Sunday.
Everybody will remember her. She was a great person, and I don't think you would find one person who ever disliked her.
A 4.0 student who just graduated. Her cousin you just heard from told me she could have done anything. Now, I mentioned that $50,000 bond. Mejia no longer in Douglas County Jail as of tonight. I've yet to see details that he has bonded out. There's no court records to indicate that just yet. The family says they've heard he did. We're working to confirm that through the courts, but that won't happen until Monday at the earliest.
And Matt, they are really vocal about that point. They don't like how this has played out so far.
No, in fact, they are upset with the judge. They are not hiding that. They didn't agree with the low bond specifically because he was pulled over back in 2014 and never showed up for that court case.
All right, we'll continue to track that story. Thanks, Matthew.